It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Hey everybody, welcome to another edition Friday. Let me get my stuff together here. I don't even have my sneakers tied. How are you, Mark?
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, you didn't expect me to.
No. I
Throw it
was
back
ready
on.
for you to finish your opening monologue and everything first. I was not ready for that.
Yeah. So it's been a discard post. See, I talk out loud. I went to the wrong thing. You weren't here last week. We had a show with our sound went out a little bit. So again, now that we have sound, I want to apologize to our guests, India Walton, who was on mayoral candidate India Walton. But we got Rambo. We got it together today. Share. Okay, I shared. I'm a little hoarse, a little tired. You know, I don't do parties.
No.
I don't do people. And I'm doing one for somebody. Not just somebody. For Kim Beatty, sheriff candidate. No, I don't endorse on this show. So let me just say this in general. Vote, everybody. We're going to be talking about that today. Please go out and vote. Early voting, you can go today, right?
No.
You can't go today? What day is early voting?
I think it starts next Saturday.
No. Incorrect. It already started. Early voting has started because my parents voted. So I know that it started. I just don't know. And I saw the days. Oh, you got your computer over there. But I know
Yep,
early
pull it.
voting has already started. You can, matter of fact, because I saw some of the candidates go and vote on the news. So you can, we'll get it up. Mark is looking it up right now. And we are going to have the chairman of the Erie County Democratic Party wants to come on and talk about voting, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the back of the voting. Did you find anything on it?
Yeah, it says early voting starts October 23rd.
Really? No.
Yeah, hold on. I'll show it.
Show it now because I could have. Where did my parents go? Keep going.
So here are those are the town locations. Let me scroll up.
Scroll
City of
up, scroll
Buffalo.
up, scroll up, scroll up. Okay, so maybe they went downtown. So you can go and you can go to, maybe that's where they went. You can go to get
Now you can request your absentee.
your absentee at headquarters.
Yes.
You can go to not headquarters, Erie County Board of Elections.
Correct.
And because I've done that before, especially if I was going to be out of town. So you can go in person. They will give it to you. You can go over in private, fill it out, and give it right back to them. Right back to them.
And I think that's an important distinction to put on there. There is a difference between absentee
Yes.
ballot voting and early voting.
Yeah. The early voting, you can go into a location and vote like normal. So no excuse. Or even today, you can go down to the Erie County Board of Elections. They will give you I think some of the reasons on there, you could check one, COVID related. You don't want to be in a place with COVID. You're going to be out of town. You're going to be out of the country, whatever, but yada, 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 yada. Whatever your reason is, vote is so important. So welcome. You should make the theme song. A beautiful day in our neighborhood, Sandra Scruggs. Sharon Patterson White, who I didn't know joined True Bethel. She says she joined remotely, online. Sharon Patterson White. Sandra Scruggs says October 23rd, the early voting. Marie Collins, I didn't say it because I can't endorse on this show, but I don't. But you ask me later, I'll tell you who I endorse. Marie Collins says Kim Beatty and India Walton for me. That's it. That's all. Yeah. So vote. School. I got a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about, and it'll be concise, because do you know in a couple of days on my birthday then early voting actually starts.
That's why I knew it was next Saturday.
Oh, you remembered, Mark.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just, you're so kind. Do you know how old I will be on my birthday?
If I'm not mistaken, you'll be 57.
57. So I'm working on a series. I don't know if I'll ever do it. It's called I Quit.
Now, please don't say that, because I did have a nightmare last night that I'll tell you about off.
Okay. So I wrote down some points to do this series called I Quit. And one is I quit trying to please everybody. But I've been doing that. But as you get older, it even gets, I don't know, you care less.
Yeah.
So one, I quit trying to please everybody. I think the second point, I quit trying to prove to everybody that lies are lies. And then there's these other things. And so when you quit something, for me, if you're still alive, you always pick up something else. So even people who retire, who don't want to just sit around the house, they say, I'm quitting working every day, but I'm going to do these other things. I'm going to do the garden. I'm going to spend more time with family. So there's some things I am picking up. And number one that I'm picking up is self-care.
Yeah.
Self-care. And in a little while, I am going to talk about Simone Biles' mental health conversation that I had last night. At the end of the day, you have to care more for yourself if you're going to continue moving and going and doing, or else you will live out everybody else's dreams.
Yep.
You will take care of everybody else's problems. And what I have learned is you can take care of everybody else's problems and not take care of you. And then when folks shift on you, you out there by yourself. You like, oh shucks, I gave up my last dime, I gave up my last tear, I gave up my last heart, and now where am I? And I want to talk about that a little
where
bit.
are they?
Or where are they? Because they'll keep going. They'll keep going, and then you're mentally drained. Matter of fact, let me talk about that now, because I think, and I said I was going to dedicate moments of mental health throughout our show. It might not be every week, but yesterday we met with a group who wants to open up a place when people just need a place to talk, get their head together, maybe need a little rest. And we talked about they're going to be coming out to the neighborhood where they want to open up, because I told them, you got it. I'm all for the neighborhood. The neighbors love it. I love it. But when I left that place, and one of the things they said, we do a lot with physical health, and we're still not in our communities the best in physical health. But we're getting better. You're seeing more people out walking. You're hearing more people talking about drinking water. You're hearing more people talking about, staying away from fatty foods and all that, like more than I've heard in my lifetime, right? So we're moving that way. But when it gets to mental health, I think people are okay with having a doctor's office next to them. I don't know if they're okay with having a mental health provider next to them. What do you think? We need both of them.
Right. And I completely agree. And I think it's because of the stigmas. I think as soon as you say, hey, there's a counseling center being open next to you, they immediately think, oh, there's going to be a bunch of crazy people on my sidewalk and on my doorsteps and everything. No, and I think we've talked about it. Like, there's times I've went and sought counseling because of things going on in my life. didn't mean like I'm sitting on the side of somebody's house pulling
Right.
my hair out and everything else. Sometimes you don't have a good friend to go to. Sometimes you don't want to even talk to your pastor or your mentor. You just need someone completely removed from the situation that can understand and talk you through your thoughts.
I really, and this is true, and I'm being very transparent on this show. I am seeking out a counselor, obviously not in Buffalo, not in Western New York. Maybe it'll be somebody in Spanish.
Yeah.
And this is what it's about. Why I am is about self-care, because there are times I feel guilty for taking care of me. And I'm not putting it on, I allow others to take me into that space of feeling guilty for having anything, for doing anything for me. You know, I live on a main street. If my car isn't moved by 10 o'clock, I'm afraid, somebody's going to think I'm not working, when I'm working to 2 a.m. and then getting up at, ungodly hours and all that kind of stuff to take care of people. And this is what I'm realizing as I approach 57, is that since I was a teenager, number one, I've worked since the day I got my working papers. Number two, I have always been hypersensitive to everybody's needs. And I think maybe I'm doing therapy right now. And this isn't, by the way, this isn't a pity me session. I'm being transparent because I think, and as I read the feeds, I'm seeing that other people are feeling that same way. So I think that this is appropriate time, and especially as we're going into less sunlight
and holiday season,
cold out. I want to get a hold of this right now because as I approach this 57, Sunday is my anniversary here. 27 years at the same church. So obviously I've been pastoring since I was 30 years old. As I approach it, what I am realizing is how much of me, and not only me, but my family, that I have given up. And I'm okay with that because it's my call. What is not my call is to self-destruct. That's not my call. God did not call us to self-destruct. I always talk about the time I was on an airline and I got on the plane. I was in first class. Somebody in coach was in the back complaining, but they were sitting next to a member of True Bethel. And they were complaining that I was spending city money sitting in first class. I wasn't on no business trip. I don't think I've ever been on a business trip for the city. No. Not that I can remember. But that was my money. And matter of fact, it was my miles. And I've taught how to use your miles and upgrade the first. And even if it wasn't, who gives a 57 bringing out some words close to FCC knocking me offline. But at the end of the day, it can be wearing to care about so much about everybody else. And if you even ask for help for somebody else, it's like, well, why didn't he do it? Why didn't he buy the bike? Why didn't he give the money? What the heck? We got a kid. No, we got a kid in school that we paying tuition, and another one in public school. But so mentally learning, I need to really get to the place where I'm taking care of Darius Pridgen and the people who I'm responsible for.
And first of all, the scripture, and I wanted to make sure I was saying it right. It said Jesus died once for all men. Didn't say I had to lay down my whole life, put everything I want to do aside to save everyone. Jesus already did that.
Well, in the Bible, I ain't trying to get preachy, and Ross on here saying that 57 you're at risk of cussing more fluently. People must really need to talk about this because Renato is even on here saying, "Great show. I am too a people pleaser." And the Bible talks about that there's no greater love than a man to lay down his life for a friend.
Yes.
Let me get to it. Not for an enemy, not for a naysayer. It says for a friend. And so as I approach this anniversary, first of all, I do want to say thank you to the faithful members and friends and supporters of the True Bethel Church. I came in at 30, didn't know what I was doing, not claiming that I know what I'm doing now. I'm just doing, I get up every day, I work my butt off, I try to take care of everybody and everything that I can. And I'm not Superman, I'm not, I fall short. I miss a phone call. I don't take care of, a lot of people think that whatever their priority is, it ought to be mine, and it ought to be mine at the same time that it's theirs. And my mistake, or maybe I should say my mistake where I hurt me, was trying to do that every time. Oh, we put this out there. Why didn't he respond? Why didn't he? Well, because I want to give a news flash, because I am human. I am human. I am limited. And there are other things on the radar. And so at 57, when I've reached this 57 on October 23rd, I continue to evolve into a person that knows some of my faults. Really you don't need to tell the emperor when he doesn't have clothes on, because I'm recognizing it. But I am also getting to the point that you can love me and I'm good with it. You can hate me, I'm good with it. You ain't got to be bothered with me, but I don't have to be bothered with you either. And I'm not going to try to please everybody's whim and moan and groan. If you want something from me, there's a way to approach me. There's a way to ask me. And it's out of respect, and it's out of love, and it's about community concern. But you ain't gonna bully me. That the flip ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Now, you can do all that rah-rah. It ain't gonna make no difference to me. It's not. So I think mental health is so important, and I encourage people out there, take care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else. And we have a lot of people, and the question I had in my head, would I want a place that takes care of people in mental health crisis to be next door to me? And I had to grapple with that. But I've said this, that I have somebody in my neighborhood who has episodes, and in the past, they've been arrested. Right now, I have not seen that person arrested because of the mental health teams that are working with Buffalo Police. And big ups to the community for asking for that.
Absolutely.
So I don't take credit for anything. Almost everything we've ever worked on has been with community connections and working together. And when I see those mental health professionals coming out to a scene where someone is in crisis, I'm like, yes, this is what the community asked for. That's what we're giving them. But you can look at other folks in crisis and not realize that maybe you're in crisis yourself. Mm-hmm. Because you got to keep getting up every day. You got to keep going every day. And you got to go through some tremendous odds. So I just want to encourage people. And the reason I brought up Simone Biles is because when she decided, I'm not even doing the Olympics right now. I'm not doing what would bring me money, what would bring me more endorsements. She did what was going to bring her peace. And I bring it up because I was just doing some research on mental health, and her name kept coming up. And so to those of you out there who are saying, there's some places where I need peace. There's some arenas, I said to the first of the year, and I'm not going to say which arena, whatever, that I'm going, why are you going in that arena if it's not bringing you peace? Why are you even being bothered if it's not bringing you peace? So I want to
Absolutely.
encourage you. Just get peace and be okay with you. Be okay with you and be okay with no, or be okay with no response at all. So let me I think I dealt with that enough. Anything else you got on that? Let me read the comment. Go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say the only other thing with finding your peace, I think the biggest thing for me was also finding an outlet. I don't know. We've talked about the different things we do to shut down.
Yeah, yeah.
And honestly, for me, one of my biggest outlets is coaching football.
You love coaching
I
football.
love it. When I walk on that field, the rest of the world is silent for those few hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And it allows me to then leave the field and then decide to reprioritize what am I going to deal with next. Or it's, hey, that'll be there tomorrow, and not feel bad or guilty for, hey, I didn't answer the phone while I was in practice. Oh, what are they going to think? Hey, I had something else to do. And being okay with that.
Before I forget, because I'm about to be 57, I left my phone at home the other day. And I know you left your phone in the city the other day and was out of town. Now I can say you're out of town. I couldn't say it while you were out of town. I left my phone and I got ready to turn around because I panicked. And I'm like, somebody might text me. And then I just kept driving. And I was like, okay, if you text me, the biggest thing for me is my kids' school, like, okay. But then I thought to myself, if something happens, sit they tail in the office until I feel like calling back.
Yes.
Because I think to myself sometimes, what if I was a surgeon in surgery? You couldn't call me all day.
12, 15 hours.
12, 15 hours. I mean, come on, right?
Yep.
So I want to start disconnecting a little bit from the phone. I feel really guilty. I try to call back people. People are so surprised when I call them back, and then somebody will meet me in the grocery store and go, "I tried to get in touch with you, and nobody come." And this is my first question, because almost everything is logged in. I can look electronically, and I'll go, when. And I'll pick up my phone. When? Which office did you call? When? Let me see. Oh, no, I told such and such.
Yep. Sure did.
I told such and such for you to call me. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And just to second that, because now that you brought it up, I will say, I challenge everyone at least sometime during a month to just turn your phone off, leave it. And I was out of town for coaching. The only time I missed my phone was when I was in the NFL Hall of Fame and I couldn't take a picture. Other than that,
get a camera.
Other than that, it didn't stop me. I wasn't panicking. Even when I got back to the phone, I was just like, I had like 58 text messages, 24 missed calls, and I was just like, oh, okay. I wasn't like sweating the whole time. I wasn't full panic. Yeah. I might have to go buy a burner phone so I can stay connected.
See, I don't know if I can survive without, and again, and this is why, because some good things come over the phone.
Absolutely.
Like staying connected with my kids. I got kids who don't live in Buffalo anymore. If the grandkids call, I don't want the burnout of life that can happen in life to cause me then to disconnect from the things that I really love,
Absolutely.
And so it's tough. Eva Doyle is on Facebook and says, "Greetings, Bishop Pridgen. At the age of 75, I take care of my first and thank God for my blessings. I want to share that last night at Meriwether Library, the
woman of Western New York. Oh, it's disappearing now. The woman of Western New York, who I have honored each year with the Roses for Outstanding Women Award, surprised me with roses and appreciation for honoring close to 300 women over the past 11 years. They also presented me with a check for $12,500.
Wow.
What a
Wait
surprise.
a minute. What did she say?
$12,500.
12,000?
And she said, I would like to thank all of those wonderful women.
That's why she's living peacefully.
Absolutely.
Rob Lowry says, peace, the best place to be. Marie Collins, if you don't have peace, you don't have anything. Janique says, I agree, Diane. I love my bishop. I was at Janique's house last night to get Kim Beatty signs. Diane, I feel the same way. I learned the hard way. Marie Collins, whoops, he don't have to be bothered with you. I approve of this man. Yeah, I learned that. I learned that. I learned. And I know I keep going on, but it's my birthday. It's my anniversary. I say, and it's my radio show.
It's your month. It's everything. Hey, listen, if you don't like it, tune off.
If you don't like it, shut off Facebook, delete me, go off of, what is it, YouTube. You can come back at 1 o'clock on AM and FM. If you don't like it, go, get, as Terry, as Bishop, go on and get. Folks, take care of your mental health. I laid in the bed the other day for an hour more. And at first I was like, you got it. And then I was like, so what? It'll be there when you get there.
Sure will. And it'll still be there when you leave. If you don't.
People will drive you will allow people to drive you crazy.
Yes.
So I am looking for a telemental health. It's got to be like, it's got to be over the phone. Or it could be, I don't know if I could do Zoom. But I really need that self-help to learn how to take care of Darius Pridgen. Self-help. All right. School bus drivers. I had to pick up my kid again yesterday. The bus driver called in 15 minutes before he had to pick up the kids.
I'm out.
And according to the principal, 5 bus drivers quit yesterday. Now, I did do some research because the question was asked to me yesterday when I was with the Minority Bar Association, because they had a press conference about the right to know law that I shepherded through the Common Council. I'll talk about that in a second, maybe, if I get to it. But here's the point. Do you know why there's a shortage? Because one of the reasons, not the only reason, during the pandemic, the bus drivers were laid off, right? So many of them went and found new jobs. And they found it less stressful than working broken shifts.
I can understand that.
And many of them do not want to return to picking up children
I can really
and having parents curse them out if they're late by no fault of their own. And so many of them said, I'm not doing that anymore. That's what I read is one of the reasons. The other reason is because of the pay. And so they were able to find jobs that were less stressful for more pay.
And I can understand that because if I got my CDL and I don't have to work a broken shift, and I can get paid more. It's almost like volunteering to come back.
Bruh, I'll go over to Amazon and deliver some packages, right?
Yeah.
I will drive bakery truck and drop off donuts.
Bread.
And I'm going to work an 8-hour shift. And you got to remember, they don't work all year, many of them.
No.
So that meant that now for me, let me have a summer off. But when that's your only income, and some of them are retired, and once they weren't working anymore, they was like, oh no, I'm gonna make Social Security work, and that's it.
Well, and I know there's a shortage because we got a game on Monday, and they just told us we're gonna have to carpool the players from the school to the stadium because there's no buses available.
See what I mean? Tashelle Jemison, who is a teacher, says also there are no bus aids. Duncan says we're trying to get the district to contract with parents like they do in some other districts, take their own child to school. Now, I did read that yesterday where some districts are paying parents $300 a month to opt out of taking to opt out of busing. $300. Now, that's one district I read. Now, I'm just going to say this. I ain't taking the option. I don't want to take my kid to school every day, but I do. I made them catch the bus this week, but usually I get up and we take both of the kids to school. Would I take the $300? Yeah, because I don't have gas. So I just have electric. So yeah, I would take $300. But then those mornings when you don't feel like driving them, or you got an attitude with them, you got to sit in that car quiet. You're in the car like, that's an hour off my sleep. But I do agree. I do agree with Duncan. I think that because there's a shortage, we're gonna have to do something. This is the second time I had to pick him up, and let me tell you when I got the call. And this is not on the school, so I want to be clear. I am not blaming the school because the school is dependent on the drivers who is from an independent company. So this isn't even Buffalo Public Schools running the company, folks. They contract. He gets out of school. They said come pick him up at 3 after 3. I got the call at 2:40. So I talked to the principal. I said, what happens with children who their parents don't have transportation or the flexibility? And the principal said, we have to sit here and wait or make arrangements. My heart is going out to every principal out there who is going through this, to every good bus driver who's out there and getting blamed, and I know I've been talking about this since the beginning of school, but I'm living it. And to every bus aide, where there's a huge shortage, which means your kid could be on a bus with no aid. And
this is no slight. When did the bus aides become a thing? Because when I was in school, we didn't have bus aides. Rayshard said the same thing. I didn't have bus aides.
I didn't have bus aid.
So, like, when did that become such a needed thing?
Probably when the safety of small children crossing streets where people are driving like maniacs, and the fights that often happen on a bus that then distract the bus driver. There are a lot of fights that have been averted because there was an aide on that bus. I don't know the year it happened, but it's there. I feel safer with my kid, especially when they were smaller and they were on a school bus. Yeah. But it's a shortage. And if I were, and now that I'm 50, I'll be 57. Did I say that enough today? I'll be 57.
No. Well, you're making up because you went a long time, because normally you do the countdown. I'm 50, such and such. I'll say whatever I want. You haven't done that a lot.
Okay.
Because I think you've just been saying whatever you wanted. So.
Yeah, you know what, Mark? You are totally, like, I do say whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like I was in the store the other day, the lady said, can I bother you? And it was Saturday, and I said, are you going to make me work on Saturday? And she said, a little. I said, so I'm going to listen a little. And I still took care of what she needed. But here's the point. At 50, I forgot the point already. Anyway, before I forget again, Carlton and Grape school zone speed sign still says 15 miles an hour. Thanks, Corinne. Call the office, 851-4980. Janique Curry, a lot of districts across the state do not have bus aids, right? This is all over the United States, I'm hearing. This is, Duncan says because smaller children on a bus with older children, and being sexually assaulted.
Oh.
I remember a case.
But is that a local thing? And Duncan, please help me out. And I'm not, like I said, I'm just asking out of complete ignorance.
I'm asking for a friend, and I'm the friend. Is that a local thing or not? So yeah, a lot going on with that. I'm just reading. Happy anniversary, Bishop. That might can get some bus drivers if the test wasn't like if you go into the tractor trailer driving the test is very hard. So I have a CDL, and I learned from the business. I think it's WeCare. Yeah, WeCare. I went to class at WeCare and got my CDL. They allowed me to come in to their class, and I got my CDL. I can't drive a school bus. Number one, I don't have air brakes on my license. Number two, it wouldn't be a good thing for me to get up that early. It would not be a good thing for me to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, when sometimes I don't go to bed till 1 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I agree. We got to look at something. We got to look at something, not just a local thing. Bullying and sexual assaults are very real. What else did I have on here to talk about? We got to talk about this ballot, and on the back of the ballot, there's something. But let me talk about True Bethel's liquor license and medical marijuana license, because I want everybody to understand it.
What?
57. And then I'm going to be done with this bull. So I called somebody the other day. They said, "Oh, we was just talking about you. Tell me about how y'all doing medical marijuana." What? Has anybody noticed the radio silence of the idiotic crap? No, True Bethel has not. Now, folks, just go and look on just look it up. Look it up. When people apply for liquor licenses, public information. Now, in the age of social media and Photoshop, you can make anything look like whatever. Just like they made it look like I was being arrested by the FBI. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Never even had a conversation. But now the same person puts out that True Bethel has applied for a liquor license in medical marijuana. Let me tell you this, at 57 years old, if I applied for it, I would tell you. So I'm done with that. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Now, I've been trolled for the last couple of years. I have been called everything but a child of God. And some of you have shared that, but I learned something from the Facebook whistleblower, and now I understand. The algorithms, and it's being investigated. That's fact. You can go and look at CNN. You can go look at Fox News. You can go look at, factual. I ain't saying I agree with everything on those. But there's a whistleblower who used to work at Facebook. And what she has told Congress is that the algorithms of Facebook and its subsidiaries, allegedly, when there's something negative, it can, and there was that little movie out on something
On
about
Netflix.
on Netflix, right?
Yep.
Now we have somebody who worked there. So when you put up something negative, it can, the algorithms keep pushing it forward because people are prone to negativity. And that helps them because when you go to another page, then ads are up on the side. So that helps them make money. Folks in our community, these are not kids. These are not little children. These are adults with Photoshop. These are adults who love the negativity instead of connectivity. If you want something done in your community, let's meet, let's talk. But what you're not going to do is bully me. What you're not going to do is force me. It ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. At the end of the day, here's who Darius Pridgen is. I care too much about people, number one. I really, really do. I have worked my entire life to help anybody who I could, and sometimes I can't. But at the end of the day, I've got to give you the right information. I'm not going to keep doing this at 57. I'm doing this, number one, for True Bethel's sake, because there are people who come here every Sunday and they hear this garbage, and if it's not addressed in some type of way, and it won't always be addressed, I'm just going to tell you, do your research from now on. You don't, and nobody has asked me, by the way. Only one person said it to me, and I was like, what? What are you talking about? They said, you want me to send it to you? I said, absolutely not, because I'm coming out of those spaces of negativity from grown people. These are not teenagers. It's grown people. I don't know how much more to give you all. We clothe people, we feed people, we house people, we pray for people, we get people saved, we do funerals for people, you name it. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. But at 57 and 27 years of doing this, there's spaces I'm not going to deal with. But I'm not going to allow you to lie on True Bethel when it's a flat, funky, stinky, horrible, nasty, vindictive, evil lie. If that's where your heart is, that's where your heart is. I ain't giving you that energy. Enough said. I'm done with it. And whatever next you're going to put out there about True Bethel, about me, hey, I do have a request. Keep my family out of it. But if you decide that's how evil you want to be, because you've done, my wife, my kids, it's nothing I can do about it. Have a good life. Bye-bye. I'm done with it. The back of the ballot box. Did I finish that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The back of the, did you know that there's something on the back of the ballot?
Yes.
Did you know that, Rashawn? It's not just the front of the ballot. You got to go to the back of the ballot. Sandra Scruggs says, I listened to the testimony of the whistleblower, and it was powerful having to consider my future seriously with social media platforms. Sandra, I am the same way. So I'm going through this thing of, do you step out of that totally? But there's a benefit to it because I utilize it, especially for things like the show. That's the only reason I'd utilize it. Get out information, the show, church. So I don't, it's tough. It's a tough decision. I came into this space kicking and screaming. It was my space then. And I remember when we did the show, we did it in the subway, and people were like, you got to get on social media. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then I did, and I don't know. But I agree with you, Sandra. It is. The great hack is frightening, she says. So on the back of the ballot, there are several proposals. Now, here's the problem. When I printed this, it only will print, like, and it's like words are missing.
Okay, I got you. Over there.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay. And can somebody please ask the Buffalo News to get their website together?
I can't. Do you know how hard? Listen. Do you know how hard it was to find this article? And the problem was, I just had it up on my phone. I went to the laptop. I'm like, where? And it says featured. So I'm like, where's it at on the website? I searched, couldn't find it. Went to local, couldn't find it. I was like,
I want them to get it together. And part of the problem is when I'm on my phone and reading the paper, all the ads just pop up right over the story. Whoever they got to do their website is criminal. Come on, Buffalo News, get it together. Your website is horrible.
They getting paid for every ad that pops up.
I know, but I paid for a subscription.
It's annoying.
When you already paying, I have had a Buffalo News subscription probably for 20 years. When you are paying for a subscription, I don't want to be bothered with the ads. I'll pay an extra $1 a month not to be bothered with, and put them on the side then. Don't have them pop up while I'm in the middle of reading a story.
Or it takes the full top and
yes.
the whole article down.
And then when you go to push to get rid of the thing, the advertisement comes up.
Yeah, click on it. And,
mental health.
I want the news, not the ad.
My mental health gets messed up in the morning. I start my morning out reading the Bible, praying before I look at anything because I want my walk to be with God and I want Him to walk with me throughout the day. Go ahead, Mark. You got the article.
Hold on, let me get over to it. So the article, for those who may have missed it, said voters statewide will have a say on major and minor change to the New York State Constitution. Were you going to?
No, go ahead. I don't know. I mean, do you see what the items are?
Yes. Hold on. Ballot Proposal 1 is amending the apportionment and redistricting process. So, to summarize, they want to permanently cap the state Senate at 63 Senate members, count everybody in the congressional district, and also decide who goes to D.C. See, look at the ad. Look at the ad that popped up.
See what I mean? I hope somebody from the Buffalo News is trolling us or watching us, because this is what happens, Buffalo News. We can't even get through an article, and I pay for a subscription. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, so I didn't even get a chance to fully read through it, so I'll just go through some of the other proposals. Ballot Proposal 2 is the right to clean air, clean water, and a healthful.
And that one is basically saying that any decision that the government makes, we need to take into account how it will affect our water, et cetera.
Got it. Ballot Proposal 3 is eliminating the 10-day advance voter registration requirement. So for those who don't know, there's a deadline to register to vote before you can vote in that current election. That would eliminate that, so that way you can legitimately register to vote the day of an election and still vote.
Absolutely.
And ballot proposal 4 is authorizing no excuse absentee ballot, as we opened the show talking about. That way you can walk in the Board of Elections and just kind of say, hey, I want to absentee
I just want an
ballot.
absentee ballot.
Right.
So right now you have to have a reason. I'm going to be out of town. It's cold because they did act COVID related. Or you could just check it. You don't have to explain it. But they want to get rid of that. So when you go to vote, and by the way, I'm getting ready to have a voter poll at 12:50. If you were going to vote, who are you voting for sheriff, and who are you voting for mayor? But so the last time I did this, I was in the studio and phones rang off the hook. Most of it will be on social media where I want to get the answers from. So get ready to all of you on Facebook, get ready to all of you on YouTube to answer that question at 12:50. Who are you going to vote for, if you don't mind sharing that? And if you were going to vote today, because your mind might change tomorrow. If you're going to vote today, who would you vote for sheriff and for mayor?
I got to see if Facebook does polls, so you got to let me know, because I think we can post that leading into the show.
Oh, they still got the polls on it?
Yeah, I think so.
I like the comments too. Can we look at? Will they be able to comment when we do that? Let's do that in the future.
I don't think I can do it right now.
No. We don't want you to mess with anything over there right now because we have sound. Don't touch anything. So you have to turn over your ballot on the back, and then those proposals are on there. And I'll be transparent. I didn't even know they were on there. Now the education process is going through, and so people are hearing more. So it's not just the front. You have to turn it over. Now, I hope those little machines read back and front.
Yes, they do.
Wouldn't that be wild if we do all of that,
Zero.
and then the machine doesn't read back and front, and then you got an election that just...
Zero.
Are we going to know on election night who won? I think we'll know. We're definitely going to know for sheriff.
The mayoral race?
Yeah.
I think all we'll know is a forecast based on the electorate that turned out. I think that's it.
12:50. It's 12:50. If you're going to vote today, who would you be voting for sheriff? Who would you be voting for mayor? If you want to call me, I think I can take call 895-8222 extension 223. 895-8222 extension 223. You can. There's a delay on social media, so you can go for it on social media now. I am seeing a mixture of signs all over the community. I'll be glad when this is over.
Yes.
I'll tell you that right now. I'll be thrilled when this is over. And part of the reason is that some people have taken this way beyond what it is, and the attacks on people. I want to attack policy, attack issues, but I don't enjoy watching attacks on people. I really don't. Janique Curry, here we go. Team Beatty, Kimberly Beatty for Erie County Sheriff should win in the early vote. And then we will all celebrate on the election night. So she is Tim. Why did I say Tim Beatty? She is Kim Beatty. Corrine Flip on Facebook says she is Team Beatty and Team Brown. Team Beatty and Team Brown. So that's one Beatty, two Beatty, one Brown. Renato Graham says vote her. What does that mean?
I know what it means.
Go ahead. What does it mean? Is that India and
Yes.
Kim.
Yep.
So Renato says vote her. So I'm keeping and again, this is a non-scientific poll, and it is not to serve as an endorsement. I'm only
And
counting
I will
numbers.
also say, because we've been in the game for a few years now, and we were always told, "Hey, signs don't vote." Right? When I early voted in the primary and ran into someone that we knew, and they were asking who should they vote for. So, because I'm used to working election day, I'm like, oh, hey, we can't answer that in here because we were literally in the room to vote.
Right.
And the election workers said, y'all could say who to vote for. We can't. So I was like, oh, okay. So, I just talked through the issues with the candidates. But I was like, you still got to make the ultimate decision.
Right.
When it came to one race, the woman said, well, I haven't seen lawn signs for them, so I can't vote for them. And I said, oh.
So it wasn't that the lawn
gee.
sign voted, but not having it, they felt there was not community engagement.
Absolutely.
Terry Gill says B&B, so that must be Beatty and Brown. B&B, bed and breakfast. That's another vote for Brown. And this is how close this race is looking.
Yeah.
Because you got Beatty. Now, everybody has said Beatty. But now understand, probably the most people who watch this show are probably Democrats. Sandra Scruggs, B&B, as of today,
That's
she
the
said.
important part.
And that's what I'm asking. Who would you vote for as of today? Because tomorrow, you might not be B&B. You might not be her and her as of tomorrow. So keep bringing it to me on social media. I'm almost out of town. Out of time.
Yeah.
Out of time. 57.
Whew.
I'm going to try my best to enjoy 57 and 58 and 59 and 60. But when I see 65, amen. Social Security and retire, amen. Oh, I was watching. My ballot is already mailed. Sandra Munson, you need a nap. So we were up cleaning and getting things ready for a fundraiser today. And I invited faith-based leaders to my house. To my house. You know how I am. To my house. This is going to be. And I did it because I don't care. I'm 57. You don't like my house? Sandra said I need a nap. Elijah Mack said I'm 60 and enjoying every second of it. When I say 60 and 65, Brown, Walton, or Beatty? What do you think? You think people can come out and vote? You think people your age are going to come out and vote? You're under 30. My grandson is sitting here saying, mm-mm. Are you going to vote? You're not. The shame of it, huh? It doesn't. He just say he don't live in Buffalo. Yes, I'm glad you said that. You can still vote. You can vote for it. You got to. She needs your vote. You're a black man. You got to vote, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you get pulled over out there, you want to make sure somebody is in the lead who understands the plight of African Americans. So you got to vote. The shame, grandson. But I'm so grateful you said that because probably half of your friends. So are you all talking about the election at all?
I had a couple friends talk about it.
What are they saying?
They said they don't know who to vote for.
Why? That's interesting. So do you think they're gonna go and vote or no?
Probably not.
Probably not. Now, you have an event coming up before Election Day, right? Or is it on, when is your event? No.
It's the Sunday after.
Sunday after, yeah.
Oh, it'll be too late. Did you talk about elections at your last event? Did you tell people to go vote? I'm laughing, but it's kind of hard. Janique says, Rayshawn, I need you to vote for Team Beatty. Kimberly Beatty for sheriff. Sandra Scruggs says, oh boy.
They get rid of them tent tickets. I'll vote for whoever.
Get rid of what?
My tent tickets.
Tent tickets?
My tent's on my car.
Oh, you got tickets? Well, come on. You know you can't have them. How many tickets have you gotten for your tents?
One.
Just one? So your father put tents on my car one time. I asked him to. I had a different Volkswagen Bug. And the week that I got him, I was driving on the 90. And I got pulled over by a trooper. And he said, you know why I stopped you, right? And I was like, no. And he said, all tents are illegal on the passenger and driver window. And I said, he said, so I'll give you a break this time. But, you know what I did? I drove back to Buffalo. I went right to the place that put them on and said, take them off.
Well, I got pulled over in my driveway.
You literally, what, you were driving then turned into the driveway?
Yeah, like I put in the driveway.
That's Chickasawaga. Hops is the doctor of dry cleaning, 874 East Delavan in the city of Buffalo, New York. I'm telling you, folks, I really got I had to back up a truck to go pick up my last load that I took over there. But I have been taking my clothes to Hobson's. I have never been disappointed in their service.
Never.
Or in their product. Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaning, 874 East Delavan. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, in your hour of need. It's Brian K. Lewis, 347 Peckham, 2528 Bailey, 1275 Sycamore Street. As a matter of fact, his sister is catering for the anniversary Sunday. And guess where the anniversary banquet is? At your home.
Wherever you want.
You come to church, and we're going to feed you after church for free. They're going to give you a meal to take home, and you can anniversary at home. That's where I'm going to anniversary, right at home. And so thank you to all. On Wednesday, October 20th from 11 to 2, stop by our Taste of Faith food pantry for the last mobile outreach of fresh vegetables at 594 Winslow Avenue. Thank you to all our volunteers in our clothing pantry, our volunteers in our food pantry, our volunteers at True Bethel and everywhere else, even our volunteers on the radio, because they don't get paid. Neither do I.
God bless you.
Until next week, power to the people.